got the tank out from under there. Had to wrestle it around a little bit. Probably should have stuck the car up on jack stands to get it a little bit further up off the ground instead of just use a jack under it to kind of hold it up as I undid the straps. Boy, I'm glad I really have one of those little DeWalt impact, battery-powered impact guns. It would have been a while sitting under there wrenching on them rusty bolts. It's awful rusty and crusty looking around the tank. Still got to get all the fuel pump and sending units out of the tank, but that hopefully shouldn't be too bad. But sure do have a pile of rust under here. My light's getting awful dim, so you can't really see it, but it doesn't look too bad under here. Like I said, considering it's a Minnesota car, got some rust on where the straps latch into. And here's that rust on the frame that I was talking about. That's about the worst of what I've seen under this car, other than just the surface rust that we're looking at right now. But I plan on getting that all cleaned up. Like the passenger side looks really good as far as the frame rail goes. So hopefully I don't find any more big surprises. Looks like we got a little rust here along this edge, but hopefully it's nothing too severe. I'll start poking around. Hopefully it's nothing that's eating through anywhere. Feels pretty solid under here for the most part. I'm scared to start pushing and push my thumb through, but I don't know. Not too bad for how cheap I got this car, and it being a Minnesota car. At least the trunk drop-offs and everything, they all look pretty solid. Like the body on this car is really good. Just some of this stuff underneath the back end of the car. This is about the worst that I've seen so far. That and those a little bit by the shock towers. So I've been awful busy with work and some home projects too, so I'm hoping to get out here more and more and really start tearing into this. I'd love to have this car at least drivable with the stock F-150 engine, Coyote engine in it, and the rear end and everything over the summer, and just to make sure everything works right and before I start modifying things. So you can see it is pretty rusty along this seam here. I'm guessing that's where it was leaking from. I think more so in the back here. You can, yeah, it's pretty crusty there. I think that's probably where it was leaking from. Hey, this is Jesse coming at you. It's been a while since I've recorded anything, and I'm just trying to figure out what I'm going to be doing with my YouTube channel. We've talked about the Mustang, what I've been wanting to do with it, what we've been doing with my son's Ranger, and I'm finally getting situated out in my garage here. So kind of what I've started out with is just kind of making myself a checklist here. So as you can see, I finally got some lights over on the other side of the other side of the garage now. Finally got it lit up pretty nicely out here. So that was kind of step number one for me, other than getting the stereo out of the Mustang. And as you can see, I got it pushed over to the workshop side of the garage, getting stuff lined up over here so that it's out of the way, kind of giving myself some elbow room. I'm out here tonight. It's December 23rd, a couple days before Christmas. And we're finally getting our first blizzard, kind of, sort of. They're saying 6 to 8 inches of snow tonight. But I thought I'd get out here tonight and just get a little bit of a start here on the Mustang. So as you can see, I got the center caps popped off. I figure I'll get the lug nut knocked loose and get it up on jack stands and just kind of get a good start on it. Probably not going to get too crazy tonight. Probably spend some time with the family and relax in the house, and got some other things that we're going to be doing tomorrow. But hopefully I'll be out here again tomorrow evening and make a little more progress. My whole thought was over the Christmas break here. Thought I'd get it up on stands and get a good start and get the running gear out from underneath the car. So I figure that's step number one. Like I said, I'm trying to get used to just being in front of the camera, talking to you guys, and getting a go at this page. So not super comfortable with it yet. So hopefully we'll see that as I progress on the Mustang, I'll progress being more comfortable in front of the camera too. And hopefully get some interest in some viewers and get this page started. I'm thinking over the Christmas break here too, I'll probably get the Ranger stuff up on YouTube, and so hopefully by the time I get a good start on this, I'll be all caught up on the Ranger material, where we're at with that. Trying to think of what I probably posted last. I think we had the Ranger running. My son's been driving it a little bit. Did the first oil change on it, put a couple 100 miles on it after breaking it in, getting it rebuilt back in the truck. And last week he just got some exhaust put on it. I don't think I took any GoPro footage of it, but I did take some on my phone, so hopefully I'll get some of that material in there too. And like I said, just getting started on that tonight. And I'll probably just post a little bit, like once I get it up on stands and kind of where I'm at. I'm not going to bore you through, oh, I took the wheels off and here, watch me put it up on jack stands. But I'll kind of get it past those points and probably pop on and just show the progress that I made and what I did and what the next steps are. So, and hopefully as I go along through here, you'll get to see more and more stuff crossed off of my to-do list. Well, I'm back again. Just been plugging away, getting rolling on the Mustang tonight. So like I said, I wasn't going to bore you with watching me put the car up on jack stands, but car looks like it's levitating. Got some jack stands under there. Had to kind of adjust one of them. It was sitting basically on 3 of them and kind of teetering, so I just found some old rags and kind of centered it up underneath the subframe rail a little bit so it would sit a little more decent. And I'm really excited about this. Excited to say it will never ride on 4-lug ponies again. I've kind of learned in my years to never say never, but as you know, my intention is to make a good handling, good stopping, quick little car out of this car. So it's definitely going to have the 13-inch Cobra brakes on the front, the IRS on the rear. So it'll have the 11.65-inch rear disc on it. So it won't have these piddly little drums again. Pretty excited about having these wheels off, having it up on jack stands. As I've said before, I've owned this car for 12 years, I think now, and have always kind of intended to do this work on the car. Now I finally got the nice heated garage and have kind of done my house projects and gotten sort of caught up on those. Of course, house projects never end, as those of us that are homeowners know. So, but finally getting out, spending some time working on this car. Got it up on the stands, wheels off. I'll show you what I plan to do. Like I've mentioned in a previous video or on another video, I want to get it just running with the IRS under it, the 5-liter F-150 Coyote engine. And these are the wheels I picked up for it. They're some 17-inch. I think they were 1996 Mustang convertible wheels. It was a car with like 40 or 50,000 original miles. And this is actually the worst wheel. You can see a couple little chips in the finish here on this wheel. But all the other wheels look pretty good compared to that one, and that's actually the worst one. But like I said, those are temporary wheels. Their tires are pretty worn, but I figure once I get it on the car and get the car running, I want to just put a few miles on it and make sure everything's working properly, and then I'm going to decide if I really do want to wide body this car and go with some super wide wheels, try to get like some 295s, maybe 305s or 315s on it, or if I just want to stick with like a 255. From what I understand, you can only get about a 255 under it with the kind of the standard Mustang offset wheels that came on like the 96 through 04 Mustangs. So that's my understanding anyway, so we'll see what happens. Maybe by the time I get everything under the car, I might decide that I really don't want to wide body it, or maybe I'll stick to my guns and do the wide body. I keep debating between the Meyer Racing, the flared out fenders, so completely replacing the front fenders and kind of that swooped out kind of smooth rear fender, doing like the Chicane 23 fender flares that just kind of rivet on and just basically flare out that lip that's kind of already there, and it looks a little more stock. And I kind of like those because it still keeps these factory body lines. So we'll see, time will tell. First things first is getting this thing apart, getting it kind of cleaned up, just getting everything plumbed up and figuring out how everything's going to sit with the Coyote and the IRS and the big brakes. So I'll move on. I think the next thing is I'm just going to make sure that I get some penetrating oil on some of the brake bleeders so that I can open up the bleeders and suck or drain the brake fluid out. Try to get all that drained out as much as possible so I don't have that leaking on the garage floor, and then work on getting the running gear out from underneath the car. It's Christmas Eve. Just thought I'd take a little break, get out here in the garage and talk a little bit about progress on the Mustang. So as you can see here, I got a little bit of a mess here on the floor, but left the creeper on the floor. But car's up in the air, wheels are off. Just working on the next steps. Car's pretty stable up on the jack stands. Pretty excited about that. It's gonna be here for a while. So, and I went around and just sprayed some penetrating oil on a bunch of like brake line fittings, the bleeder valves that are on, the bleeder valves that are on all the brakes. So hopefully I can get brake fluid drained and not bust off a bunch of bleeder valves. I think that's going to be my next step, is just, basically getting all the brake lines disconnected from the rear axle and from the front control arms and from the calipers and everything. Want to try to get everything off as one big unit. Debating what I want to do. I got the wheels set up over here. I showed you guys the 5-lug wheels, the newer Mustang GT 17-inch wheels that I'm going to put on. I was debating about the wheels, if I was going to hang on to them for something, if I ever got another future project and wanted to keep it 4-lug and put the ponies on there, but I think it's just time to get the garage cleaned out a little. So I'm going to put got that stuff posted on Facebook Marketplace already. Thought try to get $350, I don't know. Or whatever I can get for an offer, and just to get those out of the garage. I think once I get the K member off, I don't know what you guys think, but see if I can get any sort of money at all for like the K member for the future. I'm really kind of wishing I did have all the 5-lug axles and everything for this rear end. Kind of wishing I would have hung on to them now in case I get a project for the future. I thought I'd hang on to this rear axle at least. I think I'll probably get rid of everything else though. Figure if I ever do get another Fox body project, I'd probably still go with an aftermarket K member, aftermarket coil springs, and at least do the SN95 brake swap or something on it. So I really don't think I have a use for all the factory Fox stuff that's on this car. So I think a lot of that stuff will probably go on Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, what have you, and just get it out of the garage. Don't need it sitting around. I don't have all the space in the world, as you guys can see. Wandering between everything, all the bikes, motorcycles, snowmobile, and all that stuff. I do want to get a little yard shed built behind the house to put the bikes in so they're not taking up space in here. But that'll be a project for the summer. We got a bit of a snowstorm last night, and I had to run with the wife somewhere. So you can see a pile of slop that fell off of her daily driver, so that's kind of pushed out of the way. And I'm glad I got the Mustang. The Mustang was sitting here where these motorcycles were sitting, and I thought about just working on it there, but I'm glad I had the forethought to get it moved over here and just kind of keep this spot. I do detailing on the side, so I figure if nothing else, it can't fit a full-size truck in there, half-ton truck where the edge sits right now. So I figure I can just kind of pull it and move these things out of the way and have her car outside and do detailing here and just kind of back things in kind of diagonal if I really need to. So I'm glad I made that choice and got the Mustang over here where it's high and dry. But anyway, I'll sign off for now. Maybe I'll make some more progress on this today. Kind of debating if I really want to hang out here or if I just want to be lazy with the family in the house on Christmas Eve. So I'll catch up with you guys later.